Hey guys, welcome back to the Crafty Cottage. My name is Tuesday. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you all are here today because we are participating in a tag video today. This is my first ever tag video, the first time I've ever done a tag video, the first time I've ever been tagged in a tag video. This tag video was created by Jenny over on Prayer and Penguins. I will link her down in the description. I talk about her a lot on my videos, but she created a tag where she is taking Christian songs or hymns and assigning a book to the prompt attached to the song, if that makes sense. Hopefully by the end of this video, and if you watch hers, you will understand what we're talking about. I'm very excited for this video. I've been working on it for a long time since she put the video out. And since I am new to the whole booktube and the whole reading, I was having troubles filling all the prompts with books that I wanted that weren't repeating her books. So let's go ahead and get into the video and see the different songs and books that we are recommending to you guys. One of the main reasons for this tag that she created is to recommend books and songs to you guys so that you guys have new things to check out. Like I said, I will tag her video in the description so you guys can check that out and see the original books that she recommended for her tag. But without further ado, let's get into the video and check out the books that I'm going to recommend to you guys. So she had picked 15 different songs and different prompts to go with those songs, and then she recommended books to go along with those prompts. I will be doing the same. I have the 15 songs and prompts that she had, and I will put my own books to that. For the first song that she picked is Shine, Jesus, Shine, and the prompt that goes with it is a book that reminds you of your childhood, or a book that you liked in your childhood. I had never heard that song, and in her video she mentioned that we could change the songs if we liked. So I am changing the song to I Want to Go Back by David Dunn, which basically talks about wanting to go back to childhood, to simpler times when you didn't really have to worry about anything. It's a great song. I enjoy it. So I'm keeping the same prompt, book that reminds you of your childhood, and I actually have a few. I don't own any of these books, so I'm just going to flash them on the screen for you. So I have a few books for this prompt. First is from when I was younger. I enjoyed Junie B Jones by Barbra Park, as most young children do, or did when I was younger. For the second book, I am recommending The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. This is a book that I had to read in middle school, I believe, and I really enjoyed it. It really stuck with me. I recently reread it, and I loved it just as much as I did the first time I read it. And then the last books I'm going to recommend for this prompt are Fear Street books by R.L. Stine. I always make the joke when I talk about it that you are either a Goosebumps kid or a Fear Street kid. I was a Fear Street kid, and I read Fear Street in like the junior high level, so those are the books for that. The second song that she picked was What a Beautiful Name by Hillsong Worship, and the prompt to go with that was a beautiful cover. I have two books for this prompt. One is House of Hollow by Krystal Sutherland, and the second book is The Boneshard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. I just love how this cover looks. It has got some intricate designs on it, and it looks so pretty to me. The third song for the book tag is The Blessing by Elevation Worship. The prompt that goes to this is a book you would gift to everyone. A book I would gift to everyone is Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. I really enjoyed this book. I listened to the audiobook, and then I went and bought the physical copy for myself. I just love this book. I recommend it to all the girls that ask me for book recommendations. Even if you don't ask me for a book recommendation, I'm gonna recommend this one to you because it was such a good book. So this is a book I would recommend to everyone. It's very motivational. Get this book or listen to the audiobook in however you listen to audiobooks, but this is a great book. I highly recommend it. Song number 4 is Good Good Father by Chris Tomlin, and the prompt that goes with this one is Great Family Dynamics. This was one of the harder prompts for me to fulfill because I just couldn't figure out what book that I had read that had great family dynamics in it. But I ended up choosing Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, which I recently read for a TBR, and the book itself doesn't have great family dynamics, but the dynamics between the main character Nick Dunn and his sister Margot, or Go as she's known in the books, they are so close. They have each other's backs. They will do anything for each other. And I think that that goes into the great family dynamics topic. So I'm choosing Gone Girl for great family dynamics because of the sibling bond in the book. Song number 5 that was chosen by Jenny on Prayer and Penguins was You Restore My Soul by New Wine Worship. The prompt that goes with that is a book that you bought at a conference, and I have never been to a conference, therefore I have never bought a book at a conference, so I could not really pick a book for this topic. So instead of just skipping it, I decided to make my own little add-in, and I chose the song Dive, Even Curtis Chapman, and this song talks about diving into faith, and it's a really good and catchy song, and I love it. So the prompt I decided to do for this song is a book you dove into or that you couldn't put down. I'm going to tell you about 2 books, but they're from the same series, and I only have one of them, and it is The Bone Season and The Mime Order, which is book number 2. I loved these books. I could not put them down until I finished them. The only reason I did put them down until I finished them was because I had other things to do that interrupted my reading time. But I loved these books. I am currently waiting to have access to the 3rd one, but I just love these books. I could not put them down. Definitely would reread these. They were so, so good. They're dystopian novels following a dreamwalker named Paige, and there's this thing called The Bone Season that picks up Voyance. So for the prompt book that you dove into and couldn't put down, I'm picking The Bone Season and The Mime Order, but really just the Bone Season series so far. Song number 6 is Yet Not I But Through Christ by City of Light, and the prompt that goes with that is an auto by author. If you're new to this channel and you have not heard me say before, I only recently started reading, and I did not really read as a child all that much, so finding books to fit some of these topics were very difficult for me. I do not have any auto by authors as of right now, so I'm going to keep the song that she picked, but I am going to change the prompt to fit something that I can better attach a book to. So I am changing the prompt to be a book recommended to me because this song was actually recommended to me by Jenny, and I actually love this song now. It's one of my top favorites. So I'm deciding to do a book that was recommended to me, and I have 2 to go with that. The first book that was recommended to me that I'm very excited to hopefully read soon is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. My grandma recommended this book to me. She said it was really good and reminded her of her childhood, so I am very excited to read this. Hopefully I can get it on a TBR soon, or I will just break down and start reading it anyway. So that's the first book that was recommended to me. And then the second book that was recommended to me that I'm very excited to hopefully read soon is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. And this was recommended to me by Jenny. She loves these books. She read all 3 of them within a span of like 3 months. She talks about how good they are in a lot of her videos. And so I went out and bought this one, and I am hoping to be able to read it soon, but again, I might just break down and read this one without it being on my TBR anyway. Song number 7 is In Christ Alone by Keith and Kristen Getty. A lot of different people have done this song, but I also enjoy the Keith and Kristen Getty version, so I am glad that she picked that one because it is one of my favorites of that. And the prompt to that is a book that points us to Jesus. Over on Prayers and Penguins, she picked the whole Bible to go for this prompt, and not to copy her or anything, but I am also going to be choosing the Bible. However, I am going to make my pick a little more narrow than all 66 books, and I'm going to say just the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, because those are the story of Jesus. They are the Gospel. They do point us to Jesus, so the Gospels are my book of choice for book that points us to Jesus. Song number 8 is The Lion and the Lamb by Leland, and I also enjoy the song. I love this one. We play it for church on occasion, and the prompt to go with that is it has animal characters or animal sidekicks. This one took me a while because the only book that I could think of that had animal characters in it was Charlotte's Web, and I didn't want to recommend that book because I don't really know why. I just didn't want to recommend that book. But I found another book that sounds really interesting that I am looking forward to read at some point, and I think they just came out with a movie about it, but it's called The One and Only Ivan. It's about a gorilla that was kept in captivity for 27 years, and it's narrated by the gorilla, which I think is interesting and would be an interesting read. And he goes on adventures with a couple other animals. I have not read it, so I can't remember what they are. I just read the little summary. But this sounds like an interesting book to me, and I would like to read it. It's The One and Only Ivan by Katherine Applegate. And then I also have another book to go under this topic, and that's the Traveling Cat Chronicles. I've seen this book on other TBR videos by other booktubers. It's by Hiro Arikawa. I believe it's about a man and his cat that go on adventures. Again, I have not read it, but yeah. But it is on my TBR, and I hope to get to it soon. Song number 9 is 10,000 Reasons by Matt Redman. The prompt to go with this is book you can read over and over again, and for that I am choosing the Bone Season, or the whole series itself, because I love these books. As I previously said, I would recommend these to a lot of people, and it's just a book that I would read over and over again. So, a book I would read over and over again. The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Song number 10 is Because He Lives by Matt Mayer. This prompt is a book that gives you hope. I have 2 books for this. Both of them I have not read yet, but have been highly recommended to me. One is Heaven is for Real by Todd Burpo. This book is about a little boy who made it through an emergency appendectomy, but then I think there were complications or something. Oh, no. This is a book about a little boy who had an emergency appendectomy, and I guess he told his parents when he woke up that he left his body during surgery and went to heaven. There has been some backlash on this book and saying that it's not true, but there is no certainty on whether it's true, but this gives me hope in something bigger than myself. Like I said, I have not read this book, but I am hoping to get to it soon. My mom watched the movie and told me that it's an excellent movie, and I said that I wanted to read the book before I watched the movie, so hopefully I will get to that soon. Book number 2 that gives me hope is The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. This book is based on the story of a man named Lel. He was a Jew who was sent to concentration camps during World War II, and the guards, I think, figured out that he could speak a lot of languages, so he was assigned to be one of the tattooists that tattooed the numbers onto people's arms as they came into concentration camps. And he met a woman there and I guess vowed that he was going to live through the war or the concentration camp and he was going to marry her. This book gives me hope on finding your true soulmate and getting through tough times and being with them. I have not read this book yet, but I'm very excited for it. It seems like a very cute book and I'm excited to read it. Song number 11 is Amazing Grace, My Chains Are Gone by Chris Tomlin. This is a different version of Amazing Grace. I enjoy this song. The prompt for this song is a retelling, and I recently discovered from Cody's Book Corner, I think. One of the more famous booktubers picked this book for one of their TBRs recently. It's called For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. It's a Little Red Riding Hood retelling of a tribe or culture that sacrifices their firstborn to the wolf. I can't remember what all it's about, but it does sound very interesting. I was very excited to read it when I first heard about it, so that is the book that I'm picking for a retelling. Book number 12 is I, the Lord of Sea and Sky by Daniel L. Shute, and the prompt for that is a book that inspires you to help others. I am picking Girl Wash Your Face because this is a very inspirational book and it inspires girls all around to be who they're supposed to be. But I recommend it because it's so motivational and so inspiring. It is under the category of self-help, so I think that this book would help other people. So it's very inspiring, very motivational. Song number 13 is This I Believe by Hillsong Worship, and the prompt is a book that strengthens your faith. The book that I am picking for this is Stop Calling Me Beautiful by Felicia Masonheimer. I recently listened to this book on audiobook and it was such a great book. I wish I had the physical copy so I could actually dive into it deeper and underline things and highlight things that made me really stood out to me. But it is a book that will strengthen a woman's faith and I loved it. And I do recommend it. Song number 14 is Weep With Me by Ren Collective, and this is a book that made you cry. So far I have not cried from a book that I have read, but that's not to say it won't happen yet. So I picked two books for this topic. One is based off a movie that made me cry, and the other is based off other people telling me that they cried from this book. So the first book that I am picking for this is The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Bone. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. This was just a sad movie, and I think when I watched the movie I didn't realize that it was a book. So if the movie is that sad, I bet the book is sad because the movie is based on the book. And the other book that I am picking for books that made me cry is actually based on other people telling me that this book made them cry, and that's the Traveling Cat Chronicles, which I talked about earlier. I heard that this is a very sad book and other people have cried about it, and like I said earlier, I'm very excited to read it, even though it might make me cry. The 15th and final song for this video is Happy Day by Tim Hughes, and the prompt for this is a book that makes you happy. Or you could probably already see this stack of books, so I'm going to tell you there are several books for this. The first one that I'm going to talk about is Georgia Peaches and Other Forbidden Fruit by J. Robin Brown. I just finished this book for my June TBR and I loved it. It made me so happy. If you want to hear about that, go ahead and check out my July TBR video where I talk about that video or that book a little bit more. The other books that make me happy are also movies, and both make me equally as happy are the Harry Potter series. I love Harry Potter. I love it more than anything, really. No, not anything. I love it a lot. I have all the books, all the movies. I just recently acquired the 5th book, which was the last one that I needed. So I have my complete collection of the Harry Potters, and they make me so happy. I am on the 5th book for reading it, but I've seen all the movies and I love them. They make me so happy. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to check out Prayer and Penguin's original tag for this video. I will link her in the description below. I will also link all the books and songs that I talked about today. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of future videos. I will see you guys in my next video.